Hello, this is Monkey and welcome back to the channel. And welcome to part 3 of Bellurgan Park Airsoft's Operation Gauntlet. And if you haven't seen the previous parts of the series, if you click in the top right hand corner there's an eye and that'll give you the links for the previous parts. So before we tuck in, it's time for a quick recap. Part 2 saw Nato engage in a tug of war with VRS forces over the northern checkpoint. If the Nato forces lost control of the northern checkpoint, this would give the VRS forces a very strong foothold from which they could conduct a full-scale raid on the prison. So far the prisoners have been held secure, but as rumours of their extradition have been circled, the prisoners are becoming gradually more uncooperative and anxious. While Gulf Platoon were in charge of prison security in the previous part of the game, this role now falls to Gulf Squads 1 and 2, with a QRF element supplied from Gulf Platoon. However, as the fighting has continued to intensify, this QRF force have been increasingly called into the main field to try and give support. This is a necessary but risky manoeuvre, as NATO forces cannot afford to lose control of the northern checkpoint. Okay, so that's everything caught up then from part 2, and a bit of context to what's going on now in part 3. After taking contact at the northern checkpoint, myself and Fox 3 are now regrouping at the southern checkpoint. Once regrouped, we plan to head back up to the northern checkpoint to join the much larger force that's assembled to provide better security. From here, the plan is to take to the high ground and try and work towards securing Outpost Kilo, so that we can later extract the prisoners through Dako village. While things have been going to plan so far, it's important we don't get complacent. The VRS forces show no sign of letting up, and with the upcoming extraction of the prisoners, if they get wind of this, they will make a huge push in trying to get them back. Okay, so that's everything caught up and a brief outline of the plan for this part. So we'll get back into the game footage and see how things played out.
Awkward.
I bring you food as well, John. You probably food. Yeah.
I tried to return the favour and died trying, you know. Just saying.
I didn't know, I just
Not angry at all.
No, not at all. They look very big in.
Oh.
Yeah, mine does a bunker. Right here. There's at least 2 lads in it.
That bunker.
There's a bunker to my 1 o'clock.
Ours?
No, watch out.
What?
So Golf 2 are allegedly pushing on it as we speak. So we're waiting for them to push it so we can take this as a casualty collection point.
So as you can see, we've got a much larger force gathered at the northern checkpoint. While we are still getting sporadic enemy contact, our enhanced numbers allow us to hold this location while also scouting out across towards Outpost Kilo.
We have people in the wall.
For the first time today, we're actually in a large squad.
I know.
Not our large section, platoon, not our just...
Or 4 people.
Contact! Up, up! Here, Joe. Up, 12 o'clock now, I'm gonna get this guy. Right, gonna drag it. There you go, where's your tourniquet? Here. I saw him just as he shot, he was like, ah, balls.
You down or is he still up there?
Yeah, I don't know, I didn't see him go down, but... Actually... There's only the one guy I saw though, at least. There's only one, but He's blurred out. So. All clear the whole way up there. So.
Just one, wasn't it?
Just the one.
One.
Must have got him whenever I was just suppressing to try and get to that guy. So I must have shot him at the same time.
Nice.
I didn't see him get hit. I was like, I kept creeping up, and then to see this big orange rag, like, oh yes. As we continue to provide security at the northern checkpoint to allow other units to push towards Outpost Kilo, we received news in the video that there's been an incident at the prison facility. Several NATO security staff have been killed or injured, and the prisoners, some armed, have been seen escaping across the field towards Outpost Sierra. As the prisoners must head northwest to escape across the border, we attempt to double down our efforts to capture Kilo and hold northern checkpoint. This will allow us to prevent any enemy support reaching the area, and hopefully prevent the prisoners leaving the area. As our units at the northern checkpoint try to push towards Outpost Kilo, an intense firefight breaks out between VRS and NATO soldiers. The intensity of the firefight prevents NATO from entering the area, and grants VRS forces a foothold on the northern side of the mountain. While the exact escape route of the prisoners is unknown, it is believed they used the northern pass of the mountain to meet up with friendly forces. While this is a major setback to NATO efforts in the area, NATO forces cannot afford to let up. The VRS, high on this recent success, will be determined now to push out NATO from the area. As VRS activity seems to be reducing, Fox 3 returns to base to eat and sleep in anticipation of a long night ahead. Okay, so in terms of the game now, we're going to fast forward now to about 9 o'clock at night, where darkness has set in and it's time for our stag duty. However, just as we're about to take over from the previous team, NATO forces begin taking fire from around the fob. To best tackle the enemy, we have split our forces in half. I, along with half of our members, have gone down the right hand side of the field, while Joe and Fergus have taken the other half down the left hand. This means then we can try and flank the enemy with the night vision and hopefully catch them off guard. Friendlies! And this just shows one of the greatest challenges at night. Regardless if you have nods or not, it's near impossible to tell friend or foe from a distance. Because of this, other means are often used, such as a nighttime challenge and response. During this assault, however, the enemy used this code, and we were able to learn this code and use it against them later on.
Oh shit. Where's your tourniquet? Fun games. Hmm? Are they getting notes on there as well? Oh nice. Oh aye. Nods aren't. No, it's just shots going. I don't know. There's a guy beside that guy. He's dead. See the guy waving? There's a guy beside him. There's a guy there beside the dead guy. The guy on the right. There's one down, one to his left. Joe? Yeah. Oh, it's you. Trying to remember. You look different in the dark.
What's prettier?
And I wouldn't say that.
Thank you. I'll take that. Message back to zero. Yeah, thank you. We have cleared the area. Yeah, this is Fox 3 message over. I confirm that we have cleared the area. I'll copy over.
Strike a pose there, Fergus. Huh? Strike a pose. That'll do.
No, the enemy.
That guy?
Yeah, that's ours.
That guy?
That's their end.
Okay.
Oh man, what do you hear?
Yeah.
It's like fucking shooting ducks in a pond. It's just ping, 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 ping. There's no wind, so it's perfect for.
It's done. Sort out.
Aaron, what are you doing talking to the enemy? It's a thing like that, guys.
That's their plan. They lure you in.
Bless you all dead.
It's like next minute you're on ISIS.
I like the green uniforms. I know, so do I. A lot of fun.
What drips of water? The trees? Yeah, and that's all the dew, all the you think it's been so hot. Now it's cold, it's all the condensation of the trees. So it'll fuck us up with the condensation. Every time you're in the trees, you're going to get fogged up.
So now that the area around the fob has been secured, it's time to set up our sentry locations to keep an eye on the camp and surrounding area. Despite it being so dark and while other units are sleeping, there are some units still on tasking. It is therefore not unusual to see other people walking around the campsite.
There's a guy moving down there. Guys, I can see movement down to the tent area over. Could be one of our guys, but I'm going to go and just try and find out. So you hear someone shout hit, you know what happened. Alright, I'm going to see who this guy is.
As I'm being very cautious not to shoot a friendly, I try and flash this person with an IR light to see if they respond to it. I also hope this will give me information as to whether they have night vision or not. In hindsight, I should have taken the shot. Everything about this situation feels wrong, and I should have listened to my gut.
Say again, sorry? There's a guy moving at the edge of our campsite. Can anyone see him? I can put a laser on him, but I don't know who it is. Over.
Another consideration that is playing in my mind is that if I shout contact or shout for help, I will wake up the entire campsite. While this would be beneficial if it's a real contact, I am very wary about crying wolf.
Contact, contact, contact. Contact!
And this brings me to the second most hardest thing to do at night, trying to bloody reload.
He's down, he's down!
While this appears to be only a single person, it is evident that to my right there is a lot more contacts going on. Thankfully my shout for help has actually woken up most of the camp, and they've actually surprised the attackers as they were unaware they were in their tents.
Fuck.
And to round off my top 3 things that annoy me with night vision, guy ropes. I'm stuck here in the middle of these tents and it's very hard not to trip over them.
Fuck.
As you can see up ahead, the abundance of deadlights. I think there was 3 friendlies killed, but the majority of them were enemy forces trying to infiltrate our camp. My suspicion is they hugged the bottom tree line of the site and made a creeping effort the whole way around. If it wasn't for that one guy who came near the big tree, I don't think we'd have spotted them in time.
Fergus? That's me, that's okay. It's so hard to know who to fucking shoot.
Okay, and that brings part 3 to an end. And as you can see here, nods do help, but they aren't the be all and end all. A lot of the fighting here was done with guys with no nods, so don't think that if you go to a game like this, you need to have night vision. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the content, give us a like, subscribe, give us a comment as well. If there's anything you didn't like or any feedback you can give, honestly, fire away, I'm more than happy to receive it. But for now, that's all, and I hope you join us in part 4 where we take the fight back to the enemy. But for now, that's all. Cheers.